y'all. So in 2009, I moved to Germany, and the thing about moving to a socialist country is that if you're not a citizen, you kind of need a job, which I didn't have. So I took a job in Taiwan, and found myself in a country where I couldn't speak a word of the local language or any of that crap. But it was great because I could pick on our intern. And our intern's name was Fletcher. He was working for free. And this was wonderful because he would come out to the bar with us and he would do really stupid things that you can only do when you have a 19-year-old liver. So, and he had just broken his back in an extreme sports accident, so he's up there with a cane, dancing on the bar every Wednesday night with like 30 cougars on his left and 30 hookers on his right. Just waving the cane, and there was this one Asian guy with a fanny pack who would join him. And I felt kind of bad about it, because we dragged this kid halfway around the world, and then we give him really, big responsibilities. Like, Street Fighter 4 had just come out then, and the moves were just like Street Fighter 2, so if you played video games in the 90s, you could get hooked on this game, which our entire engineering staff did. So what we did was we made Fletcher unlock all of the characters for us so that we could do productive work. So every morning we would get up and hop the train to Hsinchu, which is the town near Taipei where all the work is done. And he would stay in his hotel room in Taipei playing video games all day. And then each Wednesday night would come around and I would steal his credit card so he wouldn't go home with the hookers. And one Wednesday night I didn't steal his credit card, and in case his parents are watching on YouTube, we'll leave that part out. But the next morning, all I want to do is see like the look on his face when the pride at having hooked up with 4 women changes to like the worry that he might have caught HIV. And there's this creepy ginger guy who keeps trying to join into our conversation. And part of being in Asia is that it teaches you to be racist. So when you see an American ginger, you're like, sex tourist. And so the next day, after we get rid of him, and I get my live stream of watching the intern freak out. The next day we all get these letters in front of our doors, and my boss and I get really short and simple letters that say, hey, I heard you guys were good with computers, maybe you could help me out with some computer trouble. But Fletcher, our intern, he gets a letter that's like 7 pages long, sealed with a loving kiss. I think it had some perfume on it, and I was like, hey, I heard you guys were good with computers, and I'm having some computer trouble. I got in a fight at the bar last night, and there were some bruises, and I'm not going to press charges, but I can't figure out my digital camera. So maybe you could teach me how to use my digital camera, or maybe take some pictures of my bruises. And so I'm mad as hell at this. I figure we've been in this hotel for 2 months, so I should be able to get something out of it. So I run down to the front desk holding the letter, and I start politely asking that this guy get thrown out of the hotel. And the guy at the front desk won't do it. He says, I'm sorry, sir, but we don't do that. I say, but the kid's 19. Don't care. But he's not gay. Don't care. But this guy's really creepy. And the guy looks me right in the eye and he says, sir, what you freaky white people do in your own bedrooms is your own business and none of mine. And I said, but this is Fletcher. And he says, oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir. This will be taken care of immediately for Mr. Fletcher, sir. This will be done in 5 minutes. I'm terribly sorry. So then I race upstairs so that I can hide in my room with the door open just a little bit so I can see what's going on. And the guy from the front desk knocks on the door of the L. Ron Hubbard, we'll call him, and he says, I'm sorry, sir, but there was a big earthquake last week. We're evacuating the entire hotel. You need to move to a different one. And I kept thinking, how the hell does my intern have this much influence? All he does is hook up with hookers in the hotel bar and steal ramen from the supply closet. And so I decided to catch him in the act. Right? So I had an extra key made for his room because he's the intern and he has no rights. And while he thought I was working in Hsinchu, I swiped the key in his door and I just walk in and I find the entire hotel staff playing Street Fighter 4. I took the kid to Asia and he learned outsourcing. Thank you.